ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kevin Jackwitz. This is the Kaged Review, and this is a review for The Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 6, called Bonds. And the bond here really is between Carol and Daryl, and that's going to be something you see just throughout this episode. There's a lot of little tidbits that they kind of shoot back and forth in this episode, but it really goes between three main storylines. The first is Carol and Daryl. Carol is going out on what she tells Daryl is going to be a search for Negan. So she picks a spot, she gets the binoculars. Daryl's like, what are you doing? Clearly we're not looking for Negan. She says that she's actually looking for the horde that the Whisperers have. You take out the horde, the Whisperers can't play that card anymore, then you go after the Whisperers. So that's what Carol's thinking. Of course, Daryl is a bit concerned. She goes to use the bathroom. He goes through her bag looking for her gun. She knows that he was rifling through it. She, of course, has her gun on her, but she plays it off like she doesn't. And so eventually they see some walkers coming out of the woods into this open field. And, of course, the Whisperers are there. And so they decide they are going to start tracking them. Just the two of them. No one else involved. And Daryl says something to Carol that was really poignant. He says, if we mess up, then everybody else pays for it. And then Carol retorts with, everybody's already paid for it, and we keep paying for it. So both very good points there. So Daryl decides to help Carol out. And of course, things go a little haywire. While they're out there in the field, Carol is being told to draw back. She's like, no. Steps on a twig, draws the attention of not only the walkers, but the Whisperers. And so they have a couple of tense moments there, especially Daryl, where he has to cover himself in walker blood with this walker that was trying to eat him. And he has a few walkers walk right by him, and a Whisperer very close to him and finally gets called back. So, like, it was a pretty close call. It had a little tension there. The other main thing that's going on is Eugene is brought some CB and radio equipment by Jerry's wife. I don't remember her character name. And so he talks to Rosita for a bit. Rosita's really sick. And so he finally, he's kind of all by himself, and he just reaches out to somebody and gets a hold of this woman who he starts having this conversation with and is quickly willing to share information. And we all know Eugene can not be the smartest guy at times, especially when it comes to women involved. So there was that. At the same time, Rosita was very sick, and it seemed that the sickness was spreading around Alexandria very quickly. And Sadiq and this other doctor character, can't remember his character name either, are kind of butting heads. They have been the last couple of shows. But, you know, they have this outbreak in Alexandria, and Sadiq walks in, and there's a bunch of patients there. And this other doctor's, you know, kind of attending him. And Sadiq's like, what the hell are you doing? You need me here. And he eventually apologizes because he was just, you know, caught up in the heat of the moment. But it was cool. You know, has a nice side story going on there. The main arc in this episode, though, is something I've been wanting to see for a while. And it actually was pretty cool. It's interesting seeing Negan in the position he's in. So he is basically captive by the Whisperers, saying that he wants to join the Whisperers. Alpha tells Beta to put him through a bunch of tests. Beta is questioning Alpha a lot lately, and she remarks about that in this episode. She says, you know, you're going against what I'm saying a little too much now. And so they debate about Negan. Beta takes Negan out for these tests. Negan's busting his balls. You know, Negan's still Negan. And so he digs a hole. They kill this boar. They kill it. They cook it, which Negan had a lot to do with. And then, you know, Beta says, you can't have any of this. And Negan kind of bucks up to him a little bit, gets thrown to the ground, looks over at Alpha, just kind of smiles at Beta and says, "Whatever you say, boss." Walks over, sits next to another Whisperer who actually gives him some food. So that was interesting to see Negan in this spot. Finally, Beta and Negan have this part where it's like they're just straight up telling each other, "Look, I don't like you, you don't like me, we better figure out how to get along." And Beta's like, "No, you're just not going to make it out of here." And he cuts the throat of another Whisperer, draws the walkers to Negan, and so Negan has to, fight his way out of a whole bunch of walkers. And at the end of the show, you have Alpha and Beta. They're talking. Beta says he wasn't strong enough. Alpha says that's a shame. And then here comes Negan walking up, covered in walker blood, and actually kneels at Alpha's feet. This is the first time Negan and Alpha actually meet. And he says, "Whatever I got's yours." And apparently Alpha liked that. So I still have to believe that all of this is a setup on Negan's part. I have to believe that Negan is setting the stage here to where they can just take care of the Whisperers. It was a very cool episode, though. I really did like seeing the interaction with Negan and Beta and Alpha at the end. Carol and Daryl is kind of a side note. Like, it's really supposed to be the main storyline, I think, for this episode. But for me, the main storyline was Negan and Beta. Like, that was really a predominant part of the show. Took up a lot of time. And it was just cool, man. Carol and Daryl was very cool. And the only thing that I like, one thing about this episode that I thought of, and I can't really shake the feeling too, is like, how many times can you do the sickness outbreak bit? You've done it too many times already in this series. Like, move on to something else. Seriously. We get it. Sicknesses happen. It's going to kill people. Especially in these circumstances. Got that covered. I did like what they did with Ezekiel and the cancer thing. Brings up some good points. But it's getting to where it feels a little rehashed. So I really think they need to walk away from that. Having said that, I did really enjoy myself. I thought it was really cool. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Because I do feel like they are kind of repeating themselves in some ways, but it was still really entertaining. 7.5, that's about 3/4 of the way for me. Very, very cool show. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's where I'm at. Let me know what you guys think about this episode in the comments below. What do you think's going on with Negan, with Alpha and Beta and the Whisperers in general? Let me know your thoughts. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackwoods. Kaged Nation, out.